Oh, man, I almost forgot. This is theme week. This is theme week. I better get today is bring your pet to class day. So I gotta where's my pet? Hold on. I'm looking. He's slow, but he's coming. Welcome everybody. Look at everyone piling in the door for our last full week of school. Fabulous. There you go. So just bring your pet to school days. If anyone wants to bring your pet on camera. Yeah, thank you. This is Roscoe. Roscoe's a happy little kitty. Except when I'm not happy. If I'm not happy, then Roscoe's not happy. So he kind of plays off my mood. He's a good little kitty though. So Roscoe's just going to hang around with me today. But yeah, if anyone's got your pet, want to bring them to class, would love to see them. So let's see. We've got a lot of folks here, so that's good. Let's talk about this week because everything's about to kick in and happen now. Finals will actually be released Wednesday this week instead of waiting until next week because we want to give you guys time. And so the final in this class will be released on Wednesday and it'll be due Monday night. Monday night. I have to have all the grades in by Wednesday of next week. So that gives me Tuesday to grade anything that needs graded for all my classes. So the final will be released. Now, this is a class that you can be exempt from the final. Yay! Love those classes, right? So you can be exempt if you've had 4 or fewer absences and you've had 4 or fewer tardies and 4 or fewer absences in advisory. Because if you've had more than 4 in advisory, you cannot exempt any class. So advisory 4 or less, you can be exempt in here. And you have to have no missing assignments. So I shouldn't see any ends at all in the grade book. Buzz should have a grade for everything. And your grade has to be 75% or higher. So when exemptions go out? Well, we had things due last night, so I have to get all that accounted for as well. So tomorrow afternoon, so tomorrow by noon is my deadline because I have to send out exemptions tomorrow afternoon since you're going to have the final on Wednesday. So if you're missing anything or your grade's not where you want it to be exempt, and you've met all the attendance stuff, you need to have everything in by noon tomorrow because tomorrow afternoon is when I'm sending out the exemptions. You're exempt, you're not exempt, all that kind of stuff. So I'll be working hard to get all that out tomorrow afternoon. So that is going to be the deadline. I'll send an email reminder of that. But yeah, if your grade's at 75% already and you don't have those absences, everything's turned in, you shouldn't have to worry. But go back and double check that everything is turned in. And again, check your grade. If it's below 75%, you might want to redo something. So, and you can email me if Buzz says you can't do this again. Email me and I'll get it open for you again because I want you to have that opportunity to get your grade over 75 if you're not at 75 yet. So that's where we stand right now. And let's see, there's a few of you that would affect that are just below that 75. There's not many, but some of you are just real close to that 75%. Some of you still have a few missing assignments. So you need to work hard to get all those in right away. And hopefully you'll score high enough to get your grade over 75%. Of course, if you've had more than 4 absences, you need to get them in just to get your grade up. So, all right. So we do have a lesson this week and there's an assignment, but I'm going to wipe the assignment off. We're not going to do the assignment because, again, I got to do exemptions tomorrow. Finals is coming out Wednesday. We're not going to try to do an assignment this week. But I will leave it there where you can look at it, but everyone's going to be excluded from having to do it. But it will be there because it's something good to learn. So let's go ahead and look at the lesson we have this week. All right, so let's look here in Buzz Foundations of Programming. Go to our grade screen, and we see all that. 3.04 would have been this week's lesson. I'm not going to have you assign the lesson, but we're going to go through it because you need to see what we're doing. Because next semester we'll be picking up right where we're leaving off this semester at. So There we go. Creating functions. Let's take a look at that. So, creating functions lesson. Organizers unite in single file, please. Packing is the pits. Mashed shoes, wrinkled shirts, balled up socks. Every single space is used, right? Leaving nowhere for your chargers and deodorant because, you know, you got to get those packed. But you need all of it. So to get it, you got to have a little chunking, a little organizing, arrange things in a certain shape and size, try to use every square inch in a very effective way, and help you fit more stuff in there rather than just throwing it in a pile and trying to step on it. So let's look at programmer-defined functions this week. All right, now we're already familiar with the main function. We define the main function at the beginning of every program. But here's the thing. We can have more than one function. We've just been using the main function, but we're going to expand that. So enter programmer-defined functions here. This is basically a long list of instructions that you break out in the chunks of code. If you have a very long program, you don't want just one main function. You may have a function that does something and then another function below that that does a different part of the program and another function below that. So the math module and the TurtleGrafx module both include libraries of functions that chunk larger work into simple code, like print or raising to a power or forward or left. These are all programmer-defined functions. So all we have to do is call that function by typing it, and then Python goes and gets that function. But we could do that our own. So here, roll over the parts of code to see how to define a new function. So we would define, then we would name the function. Here's a say hello function. And this is a parameter of your function. We listed in the parentheses. The main, we always have empty parentheses, but we can define something in there. It's not always needed, like it wasn't needed with the main. So name is a parameter that's in there. And so then it prints hello plus name. Well, it knows what name is because it was already defined in the program. So here's a tutorial that goes through that. So let me change how I'm sharing this. Oh, wait, before I do that, I want to show you last week's program. You had the TurtleGrafx. And so I played around with that and I made my own program just to draw something. Imported my turtle. I named my turtle Donald. And here's the program I wrote. Mine has a lot of different things in there. And you can see I put little hashtags to define what in there. Like this is a tree trunk. This code here draws a tree trunk. This is tree leaves for this right here. So I used spacing and comments to break out my different sections over what it was drawing. But here, let me show you what I was drawing with my program here. It's Christmas time. I put a wreath on the door. Put a tree out in the front yard. Gave it a roof. Gave it a chimney. Put some windows and a sidewalk out front. Just playing around with just the stuff that we've learned this far. So I just used the TurtleGrafx, changed the colors, moved them around on the screen, left, right, all that good stuff. Drawing, I used the loops to draw the wreath and to draw the tree and all of that stuff. So I can share this. I may put this code in Google Classroom just for you to browse through if you're interested. But I'm just showing how you can play with just what we know now and draw nice little pictures with all of that good stuff. So just wanted to show you what you could, and I printed out Merry Christmas to all over here on the output there. All right, so we have this video, and it's only 1 minute and 8 seconds. This won't take long, but let me maximize it for us.
Let's write a programmer-defined function that will print the Happy Birthday song. First up is to identify any repeating code that you can use to write your function. Let's use this block of code, since it's likely you'll be singing Happy Birthday more than once. Your function will need a name, so give it one that describes the action it will do. Type the keyword def and your new function name above the main function. You'll need a parameter, a value the function needs to work. In this case, it's someone's name. To create your function, write the block of code under your new function. You can create new functions using existing blocks of code so that it can be repeated as needed without having to reprogram each time. To use it, in the main function, call your new function and it should display the output. Now, every time you want to print the happy birthday song, all you have to do is call your new function and the code.
All right, so that's pretty cool. So they defined a function that put the happy birthday lyrics in there and use the word name. So they defined it, but it doesn't run it when the first time it encounters it. This is defined earlier in the code. It says, okay, here's a function and it's called happy birthday and it has all the lyrics and stuff. So then when you get to the main function, because that's the part that starts running, define main, in there, that called that function. It said, okay, we're going to name it Ringo, use the name Ringo, and then go get that function and run it. So it ran up there. It did the happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, Ringo, happy birthday to you. And then it came back to the main function and continued. So that's something that you could call that over and over and over again without having to rewrite the code. So that's why we would want to define our own function, because it's something we're going to be repeating multiple times. So page 3 gives you an opportunity to play with that. So at the top, it talks about what you do. So identify the code you want to put in a function. Is there some set of actions that you could chunk into a function? You would define it by define, say hello. You know, if you need a parameter in there, like right here, determine parameters. So like it needs name, or you can leave it empty if it doesn't need a parameter. So now it gives us a chance to play with that just a little bit. All right, writing functions, import turtle, define main. So this is using this function's already defined by Python. Dally, we have a turtle named Dally. Dally.speed10, draw a tree. Okay, move to this position. This is all comments right here. Draw a tree, move to position. So 0, -20. And notice they put a hashtag at the end of that. So the Python stops reading when it gets to the hashtag. So Python executes this. This is just a comment for us to know what's going on. So this sets the position of the turtle at 0, -20 on our coordinate grid, like starting at 0, 0. And it turns in left 90 degrees. This part draws the trunk, so brown, and goes forward 60 degrees. Draw the leaves, green, right, make a circle. Draw a flower, so move to another position. So pick the pin up, tell the turtle to pick your pin up, move over to 20, -20, turn left 90 degrees and put your pin down. Now we're going to draw the stem of our flower. Make it dark green, go forward 25, and then we're going to do another circle. And that's the end of our main function. So this is not using the new define function. This is just using the main function at this point. So let's run it and see what it looks like. Very simple. Drew a stem with a circle on top of it and another stem with a circle on top of it. Okay, pretty basic, very simple. Let's look at next. Now what are we doing? It says edit the program to draw a second flower. It should be orange in the position 48, -10. So like I say, you don't have an assignment this week, but go through here on page 3 and practice these things. So let's see what's doing again. Same thing. Dally's our turtle, draws a tree. This is exact same program. They just want us to draw another flower. So let's see. Let's get to the draw a flower code. Move to position, draw stem, draw petal. I'm going to copy all that. So go back up there. So copy that. And then I'm going to go down here underneath it and paste it. Okay, so we got the same code twice. And it says we should be in the position 48. So this one needs to go to 48, -10. Let's see, orange. We want it to be orange. So we're going to change. Oh, the stem should still be dark green, but we want the flower to be orange instead of hot pink. Orange. All right, let's see if that does it. Oh, there it is, our second flower. We just copied those 3 things, draw a flower, the whole moving the position, drawing the stem, and drawing the petals, and drew a second one at 48, -10. yeah, we did that. It says draw second flower. You can copy the code under draw flower, change color and position. That's all we did. So if we want to add more flowers, this program's going to get longer and longer. Longer and longer. So now let's see what it's doing. It's defining a new function called draw tree. And has a parameter called T. All right, so T dot set position 0 or negative 20 sets the position of the turtle, and then T turn left. Draw trunk. So it's using T as your turtle, like it named it T or something, right? T. So whatever T is would be the name of the turtle. Color brown, forward 60, draw the leaves. And then we have another function. We've defined a second function. Notice you don't have to end this one. You know, we don't have an end for this function. Draw flower dot T. So again, whatever the turtle's named, now he's going to do all the same stuff, drawing the stem and the petals. Now we're down to our main function. So here's where the program starts to run. We name our turtle Dally again. We tell Dally to have a speed of 10. And then we say, go up to that draw tree function and use Dally to draw the tree. So it goes up to the draw tree and it says whatever is in here, you substitute with the parameter you gave it in the function. So it says Dally. So since we've defined our turtle called Dally, it'll go up and everywhere there's a T, it'll be Dally. Dally set position, Dally turn left, Dally turn brown color, Dally go forward 60. And then it'll do the same thing with the other function, flower. So let's run that. Should be the same as original. There it is, the same flowers. So there's three functions, draw tree, draw flower, and the main function. And the main function now is only that big. That's it. Very simple. All right, so let's look. Now what are they doing with it? Okay, we still have our draw tree function and our draw flower function. And here's the exact same program. We haven't done anything. Let's explore some common errors, it says. Try deleting keywords and symbols. Like if we just said draw flower and we forgot to put define. Oh, bad input on line 20. This doesn't work. We got to have that define the draw flower code. If we don't put the colon on the end, what kind of error does that give us? Oh, I guess that's a parse error also. Got to have that colon on the end. Now it runs happy again. That. Try to remove the indentation inside the code of draw flower. Like if this wasn't indented, bad parse error again. Anything inside the defined function has to be indented. What if we didn't have the T? What if we just left that as an open? Well, draw flower takes exactly 0 arguments, but there's one argument given on line 44. See, line 44 says, here's the argument I want you to use, Dally, but there's not a argument put. There's not a parameter put in this function. So we got to have that T. So, all right, let's look at what they have next. All right, so this is another one. Try to predict what it's doing. Move that back up. There we go. All right, so we have our tree function, draw tree. We have our flower. Now we have two parameters here, T and C. And hashtag, here's a comment, T is the turtle name, C is the color. Okay, so draw flower, moves the position, T left to left, T color, dark green for the stem. But look, the color under petals is a variable, C, that we defined up here. We said C is our second parameter. So the color can change. So let's see. In our main, we're just calling the draw tree function and the draw flower function. We said make this flower red. So it made it red. Let's see what it has us do next. Oh, now we've got all kinds of parameters. Look here. Under flower, we got T, C, X, and Y. T is the turtle sees the color. X and Y is the position. Instead of telling it what position to move to, we've left that as a variable parameter that can be changed regularly. So now when we call that flower, we got to say Turtle Dally, make a red flower at 55, -20. And then we're going to call the same function again, but this time we would tell it to make a gold flower at -20, -25. Let's run the program. Well, see, it moved over 2 different places. And we could do that over and over. It says, update the program to draw 2 more flowers. Choose any color and position. All right. So if we take this line and we copy it and copy it again. Oh, we've got to bring the indentation back. Need to be in line with the other ones. All right. So let's see. Let's make a blue flower. And let's see. Let's do a, well, we don't want, yeah, we could do a green flower. You don't see a lot of green flowers, but, and let's do this one at, let's see, at 10, +25. And we'll do this one at -50, 0. All right. So we're just calling the same function again. We don't have to do that code over and again because we've defined a function up here to draw the flower and left all the parameters. Draw a flower, draw a flower, draw a flower, draw a flower, a red one, a gold one, a blue one, a green one at these locations. Let's take a look. There we go. Well, this one ends up kind of up in our tree, but we can just keep drawing flowers all we want to by just copying this line and putting the color and position of where we want the flower to be. Simplifies things. We're learning more to simplify things, to allow us to do more by writing less code. So, all right, modify the draw tree function so the color and position can be passed on as parameters. And draw 3 trees. All right, so this one, see, what are they doing? They've still got 4 flowers down here, but we want to draw 3 trees. So we need to modify things, and we can use this as an example. So T, C, X, and Y. So if we go to the tree and we make that at T, C, X, and Y, then we change the position to, well, we want to use whatever X and Y says. And instead of color brown, we want the color to be whatever color we say C is. That should be all the modifications we need. So that's the position, color. Now down here with our parameters in our main function, we got to list those extra parameters now. Draw a tree. This one will be light green. Oh, I got to put in quotes. Light green. And this one will be at -45. And let's say 0. I should space it out a little bit just so it looks a little nicer. Let's test this one before I do another one. Oh, there it is. So we drew our tree. So now that we know that works, we can copy that. Copy. And there we go. Okay, I need to put that. All right. So now let's change this to be like an orange tree because it's getting to be, the leaves are changing. And we'll make this one like a yellow tree. And let's move this one to, let's see, 0, 0, and 60, -20. There's our 3 trees and 4 flowers. And we can just keep adding trees and keep adding flowers by copying these lines and just changing the colors and where it puts it. And we can make it, we can have a whole forest pretty soon. So there you go. That is the defining your own functions lesson. And again, there is going to have us write a program, but we're not going to do this assignment. We're going to let this go. Maybe we'll play with it in January or we may move on. But look, there's where they're They drew this house and multiple flowers. So I may go back and modify my program to put several trees in there with the new define function that we've learned. But again, not going to have an assignment this week because we're up against the end of the semester. We don't have time for another assignment. But I did want you to see that because that's another option. So if you want to play with that over the break, like I say, we're going to be writing more programs in the spring. We're going to take everything we've learned this semester into next semester. We're not going to start over. So, this is good to maybe go and practice with this and see how fancy of a drawing you can make. So, all right. So let's see, go over the key things again. Exemptions will go out tomorrow afternoon, which means you need everything in by noon tomorrow. Your grade needs to be 75%, all that good stuff. And the final will be due Monday night. Now, here's the other thing I need to tell you. Next week, we are meeting for class. Okay, we had a meeting last week. Our principal said, yes, let's meet on finals week, but it's just to make sure you guys got everything in. All right? It's just final grade. We're not going to go through a lesson. We're not going to sit here for half an hour. It's a check-in, count you present. Great, I got your final. It's turned in. It's good. Now, the final's not due till Monday night, so some of you may not have it done, but that'll be a good time. I can remind you too. Hey, you only got so many hours left to get the final in. Hurry up and get it in. So that's what we'll do next week. We will meet and we will just briefly make sure everything's turned in and say Merry Christmas and all that kind of good stuff. And then we will run off and party for 3 weeks or whatever that is looking like. So, all right, guys, any questions? You feel like you kind of have a somewhat understanding of programming now? Are they getting better? I know you guys have turned in some pretty good stuff. I like some of your graphics that you did. So we're getting there. So, all right, guys. Well, I will let you go. I won't keep you any longer. You can play with this week's, but if you miss anything, get that turned in right away. And we'll see you next week. Finals be up 2 days.